So we know you grew up in a musical family. So how did you yourself get involved in music?
I think my parents started me on the violin when I was about 4.5, and I wanted so desperately to be like my dad that I quickly switched over to piano. And that was sort of the very first steps, about 7 years old, and I really wanted to sort of formalize my training as a pianist, although I quickly became a really undisciplined piano student and didn't practice very much, and there was a lot of good cop, bad cop between my parents. My mom trying to get me to practice, and my dad sort of having more of a hands-off approach. And so I didn't end up really cultivating a discipline with music until the end of college, and actually shortly after I moved to New York is when I began to really study piano.
But you played piano all through elementary, high school?
Up until I was about 12, at which point I discovered my parents' guitars in the attic, and that was a sort of seminal sea change moment for me. And that coincided with me listening to my own records for the first time, or CDs and tapes, and getting, Pearl Jam, Green Day, Nirvana records, and then finding the guitars and trying to sort of transcribe in a very primitive way songs and learning basic chord shapes. And I think around that time, which also coincided with typical teenage rebellion, I decided that the piano was not cool for a while. And so I gave it up until the middle of high school, when my dad gave me a jazz record. He gave me Bill Evans' Trio album, and that made a really huge impression on me. And I'd been playing guitar at the time, but there was another kid at my high school who was a really gifted jazz guitarist, and I thought, why compete? I'll just go back to the piano. I have some degree of facility as a pianist.
Right.
And so I returned to the piano and got serious about studying jazz for a while.